What matters to you? What really matters? It's such a simple question, but it can make all the difference. My name is Saskia. I'm part of the Southwest End of Life Network. We want to ensure that everyone feels well supported, including at the very end of our lives. We know the first 1,000 days of our lives is important to get a good start in life. The last 1,000 days are important too. In this clip, Helen, Caroline and Jono talk about how getting to know what really matters is at the heart of supporting each other better.
In essence, we talked about reframing advanced care planning into what matters to you, and coming from that angle to personalise it and person-centred and family-centred, rather than coming to it as a medical model of we need to ask you these questions, but actually reframing it as what matters to you helps us to make it person-centred and family-centred.
It just reminded me of conversations that I've been having with some young people that are transitioning from children to adult services, and some of their feedback was, yes, it's very important that adult services know about my condition and how best you can support me, but actually enacting a plan, depending on what that is was much more important to them, that it was about them as a person.
The key for me around planning is twofold. It's a place a place in which people can learn more about me without me having to constantly go over and over and over the same story multiple times and having to get the same theory ideas and understanding about me as an individual, the likes, wants, desires that I have. But equally, I completely get, Jane, what you're saying around a plan having it can't go for every eventuality. But what it can do is go for the certainties. And what I mean by that is everybody is certain of dying. Therefore, what are my expectations and ideas and thoughts around the process of when it comes to that? What are my desires and processes in that? And that will be things like not going to hospital, being looked after at home, and it will be different for everybody. So I think what we can plan for are the absolute assurities of life. We know that with long-term conditions, patients with particular cancers, and people that are under that light of at end of life, the likelihood is it's not going to be a sudden event. It's going to be a deterioration over time. So we can plan for, if you like, steps along the way that if I see X deterioration, I would like X to happen. But you're absolutely right, you can't plan for everything. But if you plan for the major steps and the major events, then the journey becomes easier and better for everybody to understand. But the most important thing in all of it is that we place the patient at the centre of it and not what we think the system can or should deliver to the patient, and helping the patient to properly engage with their care all the way along, not just in certain parts.
We talk much more now around uncertainty and living with uncertainty with patients and families. And if we know what's important to you and we know absolutely what you don't want to happen, that helps us to plan with you what care you need, what support you need. And it doesn't take away all the unknowns, but actually it really helps have a conversation based on let's work with you and understand what's important to you. And as with birth plans, that they're absolute uncertainties. We don't know how it's going to be in the last weeks and days of life. But if we know what's important to you and what you don't want to happen, we can help plan for the support that you might need.